All right, this is section 4-1 on powers and exponents. So the first thing we're going to start with is just a couple vocabulary terms. So we're going to use and this is on page 180, 2 to the 4th power. Just vocabulary so that you know when we say these words what we're talking about. This 4 can be known as a couple things. One of them is the word exponent. That's an X there. And another word for that also is power, and that was the name of our section title, powers and exponents. And then the 2 is known as the base number. So those are important numbers to continue knowing and learning. So let's move on to the next. Another thing on page 180 is it has a table there, just a table of understanding, and it has 2 to the 1st power is just 2. Notice 2 doesn't have the 1 on it, so any number that just has a number by itself actually has the exponent of 1 already. And then you've got 2 squared would be 2 times 2, and 2 to the 3rd is 2 times 2 times 2, and 2 to the 4th is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and that continues many times. Let's do another important aspect of exponent. The 0 exponent. 1 to the 0 power is 1. 2 to the 0 power is 1 again. 3 to the 0 power is 1 again. 4 to the 0 power, any guesses? Probably 1. So what you should be learning here is that any number to the 0 power, or anything to the 0 power, equals 1. That's an important thing to know. So we can have one huge problem and put it all in parentheses and then say to the 0 power, and no matter what, the answer would be 1. So definitely an important topic to understand. So even understanding that x to the 0 power is 1. And simply because it doesn't matter what x is, because anything to the 0 power is 1. Let's do some examples here. Example number 1. Letter A has 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And you were to write this expression using exponents. So this would be 3 to the 5th power. And then you've got B is t times t times t times t. So it's t to the 4th power. And then you've got C is negative 9 times negative 9. So this would be negative 9. And notice we're keeping it in parentheses to the 2nd power. D, x plus 1 times parentheses x plus 1 times the quantity x plus 1 would be x plus 1 in parentheses to the 3rd power. So pretty simple concept, not very difficult to continue that pattern. But we can do another one. Let's do E would be 7 times A times A times A times B times B. So this would be 7, A to the 3rd power, B to the 2nd power. And notice I'm just leaving them all beside each other because simply when you write them beside each other, it still means multiplication, so that means everything here is being multiplied. So that is your answer for that one. Let's try example number 2. Example 2 at the bottom, this wants you to evaluate its expression. Letter A has 2 to the 3rd power, so that's 2 times 2 times 2, and 2 times 2 is 4, times the extra 2 is 8. So when it says evaluate means find the value, the numeric value, which is 8. Let's let's do letter B. 4 times 3 squared. Write it out, 4 times 3 times 3. And you don't always have to do that, but for this section, just write it out for practice. 4 times 3 times 3. And you can do this first, or you can do 4 times 3 first. It really doesn't matter due to the associative property. But 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 4 is 36. And we can do that the other way. 4 times 3 is 12 times 3. 12 times 3 is 36. So no matter which way you do it, you get 36. Let's go to example 3. Example 3 says evaluate again. So we're going to find a numeric value, a number. And letter A has y squared plus 5. And then it tells you that y equals negative 3. So this would be, and notice I'm putting in parentheses, negative 3 is y squared plus 5. Now, order of operations, PEMDAS. Please excuse Mr. Dean after supper. I should tell you that parentheses come first, but inside the parentheses here, there's nothing to do. You've done everything you can to the parentheses. So negative 3 is alone. We're actually on the E here. Negative 3 squared is really negative 3 times negative 3, and that happens to be positive 9. So be careful there. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Then you drop the plus 5. 9 plus 5 is 14. So that is answer A. Let's try example B. Letter B says 3 times the quantity x plus y to the third power. And then it tells you that x is negative 2 and y is positive 1. So we're going to plug those numbers in. So all I'm doing, just like a formula, rewrite the formula but put the numbers in. X is negative 2. Plus sign drops down. Y is next. Y is 1. Parentheses, so parentheses, and then 3. So we put a little 3 there. Solve this problem using order of operations. First is in the parentheses, because we're using PEMDAS. Please excuse Mr. Dean after supper. We've got negative 2 plus 1. Hopefully you're not thinking that's negative 3. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. And it's to the third power, and we're still multiplying by the 3 out front. Notice that is multiplication. So now we're doing exponents. Negative 1 to the third power. Negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Positive 1 times negative 1 is back to negative 1. So negative 1 to the third power is negative 1. And then you're still multiplying by the 3 that's out front. And 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. And that is your final answer there. That is all. Good luck.